What's up, guys? This is Brandon, and today I'm going to show you 10 practice techniques to become sub 10. Well, they're not really so official. There's just a couple of things I should note right now before we get started. First things first, like as always, it's going to be a big improvement to have a good cube. You could still achieve sub 10 with a different, even if it's a budget cube like an MF3RS, Thunderclap, etc. And just to clarify, the term budget cube is basically, not completely, but basically everything under $10. It could be a good main potential like Yushin Little Magic. But still, another thing that also helps is the cube itself. And finally, your preference, which is what cube you specifically like best. Like at this point, I'm still trying to actually decide my main. I'm ongoing between the Cosmic Evolk M and the Cubicle Labs Evolk M. Today I'm using the Cosmic. Another thing that helps is to know your own limits with the cube. And also find good tensions, find good lubing setup. Like right now I have my tensions like this. Just to be clarifying, I like tensions loose. That's one thing I realized about myself compared to other people. My tensions are usually always just a tad bit looser. One thing I suggest is if you like your tensions super loose, like a couple examples, Kevin Hayes and just some other cubers, one thing I suggest isn't to tighten them as much as you can, but just with one of your cubes, it doesn't even have to be your main, just tighten it like a full 360 and do an average of 10 like that. After I used to super loosen my cubes, where I used to have the loosest tensions, like Max Hillard, which is a world record blind holder. And so he's really good. Shout out to him. And he actually let me feel his GTS-1 without magnets, and it was incredibly loose. And I said, why do you have your tensions this loose? And he said, I learned to work with it. And he kept saying over and over again, it almost felt like the cube wasn't comparing up to his speed. And so, just to clarifying right now, what I define loosing and tensioning and all that stuff, how I define it is the looser a cube is, the more flexible it is, the more it is likely to pop. But of course, everything could be counterintuitive compared to your turning style. I mean, if you have one of the lightest turning styles, then yeah, I would say there's a really small chance you're going to pop. Sorry about this little thing right here. I was lubing my cube over and over and over again, a little bit spilled. I'm just going to turn this angle so you kind of see my solves. And that's just one thing. Another thing to note is if you're not getting sub 10, well, if you are getting sub 10 after finally this video, I'm sorry this introduction took so long, but even if you are getting sub 10, but when you go to comp and you don't get sub 10, like you mess up or something, the final tip I have for you is to simulate a comp by getting yourself a timer, which I have down there. Maybe even a cube cover, like I have with me right now. And just some things that would simulate a competition. And if still all that, then last thing you should try is go into a different area that you don't know. Yeah, so I'm just going to go to my 3x3 average right now. Brand new average. Basically, another thing that you should do is when you're scrambling puzzles, never look. Because most people cheat and look. So like right now, I'm just going to look right at the screen. And while we're getting started, I'm just going to show you an example of a sub 10 solve. Wait. Okay, much better. And so I'm going to start my inspection. 3, 2, 1. Okay, this does not look like a good solve. Oh, I'm going to restart the timer just quickly so I can see. I don't know why the cube cover's here. Let me just... What's going on? What's going on? Okay, hold on. Let me just reset my session. Sorry about this. Just keep cover back here for now. Oh, I completely messed up the solve. I'm sorry right now. I just completely messed up. I'm sorry about that solve, but I should probably just start talking about the practice techniques. First thing I suggest, which most cubers also suggest, which is find a good turning style that works for you. And depending on that turning style, find a certain speed that is good for you. Like, I have one of the lightest turning styles, I say. The only time it would pop is if I get a little too aggressive, which happens rarely ever. If you see me doing this over and over again, that's just because I have a little bit of lube in my cube that actually I added before the video, so I'm just trying to break it in. That's a good way to break in lube. And then also another thing is the angle of your vision. Have good lighting. Like I see I have a light right here. I'm going to aim a little more down so it doesn't get in the way of the camera. Maybe like this, maybe just... But the main thing is simple. This light right here, have really good lighting so you can see at multiple angles, just so you can have really good vision of the cube. And practice at a very, very low down here. Like if you're sitting straight up in a chair, it should be around your belly button area. Hang on a second. So right now, if I was going to practice, right now, the best point right now would be at my belly button. And why? Is because at around this area right here, you can see multiple points in the cube at once, so you don't have to turn and look around. Basically, the closer you get to your face, the more you have to actually look around. So basically, it increases look ahead. So, quick trick or tip that I like to do is I just grab 2 pillows. I just go like one right here, fold in half, and then get another random pillow. Or anything basically that can boost up your chair. Like this right now holds the pillow in place. And when I sit on all this stuff, when I'm practicing, the timer is the exact point that I was talking about earlier, my belly button. And so you saw my time was earlier. I'm just going to do one more solve, just an example. And just watch how big of the drastic drop it's going to be. Oh, God. Okay. Oh, dang it. You saw I messed up that J pen. But yeah, another thing I'd like to mention is that one thing that you should do is when you're solving and you feel like your look ahead is lacking a little bit, or maybe even your TPS, I suggest getting out big cubes. Any kind of big cubes. Like, it could be literally any type of big cube. Right now I have a 4x4. It could be even maybe a 5x5. 6x6, and even 7x7, and so on. And basically just crack them out. Like earlier today, I was doing a just quick sub 5 of 7x7 right now. I do 5x5, 6x6, 7x7. This is a 7x7 right now. The bottom one, I thought the bottom was pretty good. It was a pretty good solve and scramble. But the same basically idea applies to the same type of puzzle. Look ahead is one of the most important things of a solve. And your solve right now may be perfectly fine. The only thing that you're lacking is maybe look ahead. And that's the only reason why you're not sub 10. And then once you do that, I suggest... Whoops, hold on a second. Another thing I suggest is practicing random, or I'd say weird puzzles. Don't just speed solve them. Just really wrap your mind around on what's happening during the cube. Like another thing I'd say is like square one, like kind of I have with me. And what I mean by that is basically wrap your head around. I have a couple more practice techniques, just, I don't know why. Anyway, basically just wrap your head around what's actually going on with the cube when you're actually solving. Like most people know this is a T-perm. And most people just think these two swap, okay? When I notice that, do the algorithm, boom, done. But what you should notice is different angles of the algorithm. Like if I was from this angle right now, it's pretty easy to tell it's a T-perm. But if I was from this angle, same thing. But what if I was from this angle? It might be a T-perm because of this bar, but it also might be a J-perm because all the way back here with the headlights. So it's good to actually recognize what's going on, because if you could see these two right here, colors are opposite, you know that they have to swap. So you can actually tell this is a T-perm. So that's just another thing. Also, if you're finding look-ahead problem, try just slowing down your solving speed by just a tad bit. Like my TPS right now, max is about 10. So one thing I would do right now is probably an 8. Like an example, a test of this right now I'm just going to show. I'm going to turn as fast as I can during the solve, as medium as like my normal turning speed, and as slow as I can, and just compare my times. So first I'm going to turn as fast, first I'm going to turn as fast as I can. Wow, that is actually a really good solve. It was actually really good. It wasn't really good, but it was a decent solve. I'm going to try another one. Let's try. What was I going to say? Anyway, that was like my moderate turning speed, actually. Sorry, I messed up. That was like my moderate turning speed. As you can see, sub 9, sub 10. Now I'm going to turn as fast as I can, which probably is going to lead to pops because, as we all know, fast turning style also means... As you can see, the cube is just locking up a bunch and just a bunch of random things happening. As you can see, not good. And then now I'm going to turn pretty slow. Not slowest, because then I'd just be like... And that's just like, no. No one should solve like that. It's like, this is kind of embarrassing. I gotta tension this 2 sides. That's why I said it's good to have a decent tension. Anyway, now I'm gonna turn pretty slow, but not the slowest. As you can see, it doesn't matter how fast your turning style is, your TPS, I'd say, as long as you're actually looking ahead as much as you can. This could also be used, these tips right now, for sub 15. So I'm just gonna, one thing very quickly, just one quick thing, is really watch how I'm looking ahead. And I'm just gonna do one more solve of normal turning speed, that way I actually get good times. Like the sub 10 I got earlier. Okay, it's just... As you can see right now, the main goal right now is to look ahead. As you can see right there, I kind of messed up. Well, whoa. Okay, that was actually really bad. Hold on. Just be aware that some solves could be really, really bad, and they could throw off your average. It all just depends on what you're doing. Another thing I suggest is actually becoming color neutral. As you can see, all the solves I did were on white because for some reason I'm just doing that just for the camera because most of you people out there solve on white. I'm just going to do a, maybe, let's see, I'm going to do a, looks like blue, wait. Yeah, blue looks pretty good. Wow, I really messed up that case right there. Okay, this is really bad. But basically the same idea wraps around each solve. Most people say it's good to be color neutral, and most people think it's just, why do I need to learn multiple colors when I can just work with just one and get really, really good with that one? So even if it's a bad solve, I'm really good with it, so it's going to become a good solve. The only reason why they say becoming color neutral is good is because if one side is pretty bad, you can always switch to another. And color neutral doesn't even have to be even color neutral. You can even just be a white and yellow cross solver. That way you're already used to both sides. It's just basically the idea is the more sides you can recognize faster, the better the chance you're going to have a good solve. I'm doing more solve right now. Okay, wow, I really messed up that solve. I don't know what's going on with me today. I'm sorry. I'm actually kind of sick too, but yeah, the main idea applies for becoming sub 10. Like a TPS right now. Wait, that's another thing. What else do I talk about? Oh yeah, the turning style. So it does not matter what kind of turning style you have. If you have a rough turning style and a fast turning style, I suggest tighter tensions because they'll all radically make up for it. And you have a smaller turning style, a looser turning style, kind of like me, then I would say just go for looser tensions if you want. For lighter turning styles, you can go any tensions because you're fine. But rougher turning styles, you kind of have to go tight or else it's going to pop a bunch. Unless the cube is designed not to pop. And I know all cubes are designed not to pop, but it's like, it does nothing but pop. Specifically, it's kind of like the Xanshi. It pops a lot compared to like the Volk nowadays, which I'm actually using right now in case you didn't know. I don't even know what one.
12 seconds.
Also, another good thing to mention is learning different methods. Like for the 4, I know 4 different methods. I know free fob. I know, not free fob. I know Petrus. I know Roux. I know ZZ. And then, of course, I know C-fop. I don't know why I said free fop. And so, same thing with the color neutral. It helps you to find just a bunch of different ways to start off. Like, if I see a good, huge block in the middle of a solve, an example of that is something that would look something like this right now. If I would see something that looks like this, I could see an easy pair of blue and orange, and then I can easily get a pretty good white and orange pair right here. So all I got to do is just D2, and I got a huge good block right here for Roux. And then most likely I would just continue with the solving process, and then basically that's just basically the idea. It does not matter what method you use right now at this point, as long as you know that you're good with your method and it works for you. Hold on a second. Oh crap, I really messed up there. It's on the wrong algorithm. Yeah, I'm not the best at Roux. I am pretty good at Roux. Because right now, I haven't done any Roux solves for a while, so. But the same idea applies with all methods. I'm just going to do a couple more solves while pointing out some things. I'm sorry I'm not getting sub 10 right now. I'm just kind of warming up. And even, look, right now I'm even warming up and I'm still getting really, really close to sub 10. I'm just going to grab something. Hold on. Oh, well, I'm just going to reset this. And go. Okay. Dang, I really messed up that OLL. Another thing that is good to mention is where you're messing up on and just improve that one spot. And really know your limits when you're solving. Like, for instance, one thing that I usually do is I usually get done F2L first, more than my friend, and then he was still working on the last 2 F2L pairs while I'm already done. And then I've completely messed up last layer, and then he would rocket through it. And what I mean by that is, like right now, I know that I'm lacking last layer, but I'm really, really good at F2L. So what I would do is I just go to an untimed session, I go to last layer. This is last layer in 2x2. And then from there, I just practice that. I would basically drill that. Another thing I do is PLL time attack. Oh, actually, this looks like a good solve. As you can see, I just messed up right there. Number one, I'm really nervous. That's another thing that actually is good to actually talk about. Being nervous is perfectly fine when you're a competition, because what do you expect? You're not only disappointed in yourself because you know if you mess up, but you might think that your parents are disappointed in you, your friends are disappointed in you, and plus you get really stressed out from all the people that are there that could be watching you. The worst part is you don't even know if they're watching you, because you're too busy distracted on your solving. Like right now, just to example. This is just on the last layer thing I was talking about. And it's just to drag these algorithms. And so you get really, really good at them. So all time attacks, they aren't really a thing. But they could be if that's okay with you. Hold on a second. Like right now, a good thing if you are sub 10, it'd be anywhere from 2 to 4. 4 being like a really unlucky solve, and then or messing up, and then 2 would be like soon then J-perm, you know. And then finally, the last trick I suggest is, rather than just drilling the spots on you're messing up on, if you still keep messing up and you can't find out what you're doing, just learn either different algorithms to it. Like right now, I learned from a fact that I'm really good at 2 different types of algorithms. RUF, R's, U's, and F's. I'm looking at that from camera angle. And then R, U, and D. That's why all the algorithms that are different from that, I would just switch to it. I'm just going to just erase that so I can actually... So another thing is like RULs. That's something I don't really know how to do. Like J-perm, I'm not really good at it. As you see right there. But I am really good at stuff like N-perms. And, well, a certain type of N-perm. And basically I try to turn everything I can into RUDs. That's why I'm actually really good at the original algorithm that I would use for E-perm. Oops, hold on, I messed up there. Basically the exact same thing applies. Same thing of everything I'm touching right now. Another thing that I usually tend to mess up on are middle layer moves. Another thing I think is actually kind of weird about it is I actually cut my finger earlier. And so the band-aid's just going to slip off and it's going to mess me up. That's kind of messed up on like H-perm best a long time ago. A long time ago during the video. I'm just going to do one more now. Just an example. Oops, so let me restart that. You can see I really messed up right there. The band-aid slipped off. Not slipped off, but slipped and made me turn the layer when I wasn't supposed to. But yeah, basically, I'm just going to do a couple more sub 10 solves right now. And just, while I'm doing that, remember about all the tips I taught you. And if you still don't think it's enough, watch Ubercuber's video and J-perm's video on how to be sub 10. They go more into description. And a couple of things that they mentioned, I actually mentioned on this video. Until then, just enjoy a couple of these sub 10 solves and some cubing news. So right now, just like my last live stream, you guys know that I'm going to Northwest Championships. And if you don't know, that it's actually my birthday. Just like my friend going to Gaston Spring 2018. His name is Nicholas Schollard. He went there for his birthday. And just some other things just to mention. So I'm going to championships for my birthday. So if you are watching this video, comment below if it was your birthday and you could go anywhere you want. Oh yeah, hold on. This is one of those questions right now, like I did at my last live stream. Okay, I really messed up that. Hold on. This is one of those questions like I did for my last live stream that I'd like to mention. If you could go anywhere in the world for your birthday, where would it be? And so just think about that question. This one's going to be, it doesn't matter about, well, I forgot to start the time. This question isn't like an ABCs, pick one. This one's actually random. It could be whatever you want. Kind of like SML, where if you could have your birthday anywhere in the world and your parents or anyone would pay for it, where would you go? Enter your comments below. Basically, that's kind of it. Also, at the competition, comment down below, not competition, but championship. Comment down below if you're gonna see, if you want to see me there, or if you're gonna meet me there. And it's not gonna be hard to recognize me because I'm going to be wearing my custom YouTube channel shirt. I've been trying to sell these right now, basically online at my YouTube front page. There's going to be a random video with a link. It's going to show any picture you want that is around this size and your YouTube channel right under it, as long as it's not too long. And basically, I'm going to sell these. I'm going to make a video later on, once I get a good base, basically Kickstarter to start off this, what I'm trying to do right now. This business idea almost. And basically, all you gotta do is if you wanna do it, well, if you wanna enter, I'm gonna have a place to basically put in your credit card info, and basically we're gonna basically ship out. But first we're gonna start off with competitions. If you're going to my competitions, I'm gonna sell them. All you gotta do is pre-order basically with the link. Just send it in your order and make sure you're 100% going to go. And if you're not, then we're either gonna give your t-shirt away or just sell it to some random person. So don't just psych us out like that. I'm going to be, right now, a big one is at Northwest Championships. So yeah, just keep in mind on that. I'm just going to tension this side right now. But yeah, that's just a couple of things right now to watch out for, remember. Like, see, I messed up right there. It's because you saw how I was actually holding it super close to my face up here. Like, just lift your wrist down, you know? Because that's what the table's for, to have comfortable wrists. And basically just a place to eat. Basically, there's a lot of other stuff. It could be a desk, it could be a table. But yeah, another thing right now, just like I did before, the turning style and have the fast and turning. I'm just doing another solve right now. One where I'm super close to my face, kind of medium, and then all the way down at the floor. On the floor, but right now up to the level I was talking about. So this solve I'm actually going to do hold on, medium right now, so not too high, not too low. Oh, one last trick I would mention is to, when you're solving, look as much as you can during your inspection into your solve. It will just help you a bunch, and it's mentioned more on Brody Cubers. 10 tips and tricks, just not really to be sub 10, but just practice techniques. And it's also mentioned on J Perm's sub 10 video. So that was about medium right there. Medium as in right here. And then I'm going to do another scramble. Let's tension this one side. Come on, sorry. I'm going to do this one probably super low, like right here. No, actually I'm going to do it super close to my face. As you can see right there, I had a really long pause. As you can see right there, last layer was easier because it's very easier to recognize, see more blocks at once. Rather than far away, you're kind of stuck, you know, you have to rotate. So I suggest basically just solving down here, and the more you solve, just slowly go up and up and up. And then now I'm going to do my normal, how we usually have it, which is kind of low. As you can see, it's a lot broader than all of them. Kind of messed up that R-perm. Another thing that also defines, one last thing before the video ends. I'm sorry this video is as long as one of my live streams. But one last thing before the video ends is one more trick and tip suggestion. When you're solving, one last thing, which isn't even just a tip, it's not even a suggestion or like trick. It's also one of the biggest factors is luck into the solve, because you can get one of the most unlucky solves ever, and then at the end get it the last layer skip. So it's all just on luck when you're solving. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. One last thing. Remember the question I had earlier, if you can go anywhere on your birthday, where would it be? Also, if you want to know my color scheme right now, just one last quick thing. If you guys want to try it out yourself, it is regular white, fluoro green, fluoro orange, fluoro red, fluoro yellow, and bright or light blue. I forgot which one it was. That's just my color scheme right now. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, comment below. I'm not even telling you. I'm just asking. That'd be actually support for the video. Also, if you want to check out the t-shirts I was talking about, they're going to say my name. It's going to say my channel if you want. You can also say your channel. You can say anything. We'll post a video later, so just be looking out for that. And see you later. Bye.